Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, January 25th. It is pretty early here in the morning, and I'm going to be out again a good portion of the day. Yesterday was Lexi was not feeling well, and so I was out. That was very unplanned. Today was planned that I would be out this afternoon. I'll be leaving here around 11 o'clock Eastern time. So just wanted to let you know, and then I know for sure I will not be back. Yesterday, I did go ahead and sell out of my Starbucks when I came in right before Lexi. Well, she kind of checked all over me within the, like I did hit the sell button, typed it in, and then bleh. So that was great. Anyway, good timing, fun day yesterday, but she's feeling a lot better. Thank you for all of the messages and notes about her. Anyway, did sell out of Starbucks yesterday, and we'll look to maybe play that again here. That was a really beaten up trade, and we were looking for the RSI2 trade. Really was failing with the overall market, but then came right back in yesterday, big bullish. Not an engulfing candle, very close to it, but not quite an engulfing candle. We have earnings coming up, so we'll come back and take a nice look at Starbucks. And I would be watching those, in just a day trade, I would be watching those 100s, coming back to those 100s. Okay, but that's not where I'm really going on my watch list here today. I want to talk about the futures. We are still well below the 200. Yesterday we came in, we were down more than 1,000 points, and then rallied all the way back up. And it's kind of hard to see, but you can see we actually rallied back up on the futures. When we closed on the SPY yesterday, in fact, let's go take a quick look at that because these are different charts. When we closed on the SPY yesterday, we closed here, so this is that big move, right up near the high of the day, right? Not above the 200, we didn't touch it, but I always go back and look at the futures chart. To me, the picture is a little bit more clear. But it doesn't matter, whichever one you watch, make sure you're very consistent in it. This was yesterday's big move. Today, we opened up and are pushing back down. So why am I talking about the fact that we're pushing back down? Well, yesterday, kind of late, we talked that this could be, maybe just short covering. We also were talking about the Fed. We have FOMC tomorrow, so I think we're going to have a lot more chop today and tomorrow coming into that decision. But something else I also typed out in the chat room last night was I think the price. I think an announcement of a Fed hike and what he says is probably baked in on the hawkish side, right? So I'm not sure if he really has if there's anything baked in on the more dovish side. But they did announce yesterday they're going to continue those bond buybacks for right now. So we'll see. That's really what it comes down to. How is the market going to react? How, the markets are forward looking. So this is giving us quite a big caution sign that, hey, the trend has now changed, right? We have several days of this trend has now changed. So when we go back and look at those longer term pictures, right? We did have, so this was a bit of an anomaly. This was the COVID drop, but here, look at this. Okay, so this is the Delta variant drop, right? Let me pull that back. Yeah, no, that's right. Okay, so sorry, it's been a long night. This was the COVID drop, right? We've had other drops talking about other variants and whatnot, but here we are dropping. We are below. On this weekly chart, we came below the 50, sitting right on it yesterday. So this is a big resistance that we need to, resistance and support, depending which side of the 50 you're on, we need to pay attention to. We came down, we blew through it, pushed back up. We had this longer term trend line in here, right? From way back here, we tapped through that. It's very close to a Fibonacci line. We want to see if we hold this and now maybe start making our way back up. It's incredibly volatile, and I think it's going to continue to be that way. We have earnings, a lot of big earnings this week. We have some of your biggest names like Apple reporting. So again, a lot to kind of digest through the whole market this week and next week with finishing up a lot of the bigger earnings. We have earnings run for a while, but those are kind of the biggest ones. Okay, enough chatter about that. What is moving? What are some things that we can watch? So I still actually really like the energy plays. So going to continue to watch things like CVX, XOM. I did get stopped out of CVX last week, but watching it here, I love this look, love this push back up, and we'll look to maybe play that here, maybe just for a day trade, maybe an overnight going into earnings, but we'll be, again, very cautious and come back to this after earnings. I think energy overall, especially with the tensions that we see internationally, those do affect energy and oil prices, so keep an eye on that. Gold is something that we had not been able to talk about in quite a while. Love this push up. Got a little bit of a rest, and now looking for the follow continuation here and follow through through, to me, 172.30 is really a nice little trigger there to get in. But we saw this here, right? We pushed, we took a rest, push, taking a rest, starting to push back up. Gold, very nice little chart there, so keep an eye on that, and I would watch the 175s on gold, and out in March, of course. Everything's in March except for one, so let's go ahead and hit that one really early. Kind of an interesting one, talking about Unilever here. Pretty defensive play at Unilever. I mean, look on the back of your shampoo bottle or soap, right? Unilever is kind of into everything. It does not trade the best, I will tell you that, on options. It's very spready. But if you can get into this, I like the Mays. I know we have earnings coming up, but I like the Mays. We are really beat up. You kind of see, I would use yesterday's candle. Anything over that 53.75, maybe 54 area. Excellent play for equity as well, but these, I like the May 56. So May, yeah, why May? Because that was the only one that had some really good open interest, and we'll see if that continues on here. So other than that, all the rest of these will be in March. So let's start with some clothing. Oddly enough, clothing and some of that retail doing pretty well. Again, incredibly beat up. This probably was set up for an RSI 2 trade. We're taking this nice look here. I looked for candles that were really big, engulfing candles. We touched the 8, so anything over the 8 initial target here would be the 20, and then the 50. Stitch Fix, I would watch. The 20s, can you believe it, the 20s? I remember playing this when it was up, you know, in that $50, $60 range, which doesn't feel that long ago, but clearly it was. Okay, Kohl's. So Kohl's, a lot of activists, investor-ish coming through. So just big news play. Again, day trades on these. Big momentum play here, like Kohl's. Watch, it's pulled back in just a little bit here this morning. Watch for this to push and go. I like the 65s. Dick's Sporting Goods, beautiful engulfing. What I love about this is not only did it push down into this resistance, this was the resistance area from back here. That's when we drew that in, which had been support back here, right? We came back, we tapped it. Yesterday we tapped it, we pushed. Not only pushed through the 200, we slammed ourselves closing high of day on some okay volume, not the best volume, but enough to catch our attention here. And look at that, up over the 50. Beautiful move in DKS, the 110s there. Oh, so Chewy. Chewy, another retail shipper name. Interesting look here as well, right? This one, incredibly beat up. I think it was just last week that I was asked about this being an RSI 2 trade, and we had this bear flag put in, so just let it go. Then look at this, again, monster move, anything over the 8 here in Chewy. And on these, I like the 50s. I know that's a little bit out of the money, so be a little bit more cautious on those. I would prefer to watch the 45s and see if we get enough volume. So 45 or 50s there in Chewy. And again, hold these day trades only. Up over the 8 is a great place to be. A couple others. This one, I didn't really like any of the options on. It does have earnings coming up, but I wanted to point it out because look at this beautiful up. Took a little pause. Looks like a nice little bull flag after we just had some pullbacks, big explosive moves, little rests, periods. Love the look here in PGR, anything over yesterday's close. Taking a quick look at those, back look at those, some of those metals. Look at this again, another one really good push up. Pulled back in, came pretty close to the 8, but this looks like now it might be setting up for a nice bullish move here, especially with FOMC tomorrow. So I like NEM, I like the 65s. Lastly, an industrial name here, Caterpillar is one that we had watched. 3 really bad days brought it right back down here to the 200, but managed to close up above. But I like the sector, so we're gonna watch CAT, and I like the 210s and the 220s there. We're gonna see which ones continue on. Real quick, none of these have options, but watch Foot Locker, another one closed up over all of the moving averages. Really nice little price point. Anything over yesterday, big engulfing candle there. Carvana, again, didn't really like any of the options here, but nice engulfing candle. So anything over the 8, a lot of these up over the 8. And then Peloton, again, a lot of people talking that they're primed for a buyout. There's a lot of speculation going on here in Peloton. Great day trader, nice volatility, good volume. Anything over the 8 or yesterday's high there. Again, earnings coming up on that one. Okay, if you have any questions, Heather C at GivingTreeTrading.com. I will, again, be out around 11 today and gone for the rest of the day. You can always send me a private message there in Discord. And I hope that you have an awesome day. Remember, be very, very, very cautious. FOMC tomorrow. And we need to see actual follow through today. Stick to the short-term trades, or you know what? Walk away. Don't even trade today. All right. Talk to you soon.